Welcome back to my channel. I finally saw the Train to Busan sequel Peninsula, but before I review that, we're going to talk about the first film, 2016's Train to Busan. Before I begin, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Train to Busan, or if you're looking forward to it. And make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like these reviews, because it helps me out immensely if you do that. Also, if you're new here and you like movies, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. But now, let's jump right into it. This centers around a zombie outbreak that slowly spreads throughout South Korea. When an individual who's been infected sneaks aboard a train headed to Busan, a group of passengers do what they can in order to survive, some by working together, and others by any means necessary. So, fun fact, I only just saw this movie for the first time a few days ago. I know it's been out for a while and it got a huge boost in popularity when it hit Netflix last year. I unfortunately didn't get around to seeing it then, but when I heard a sequel was being made, I planned on doing a review of this in addition to it. But before now, I was told non-stop I needed to see this movie. You have to see Train to Busan. You have to see Train to Busan. Even when I reviewed another South Korean zombie movie a few months ago, Netflix's #Alive, about half or maybe even more of the comments were people telling me how I need to see this movie. It was one of the most hyped films I've been told about in quite some time. And now that I finally got around to seeing it, I can safely say that the hype was absolutely worth it. This movie is incredible from start to finish. This didn't disappoint in the slightest. A lot of movies usually get ruined for me because they're overhyped so much, but this is one of the few exceptions. And this especially caught me off guard because I'm not exactly a zombie movie fanatic. I don't dislike them. I'm always down for when one's done well, but I felt after so long there's only so much you can do with this genre. This proved me wrong as far as that goes. So let's start with the zombies themselves. Incredible. These are some of the most frightening zombies I've seen in a film in quite some time. Not only are they very fast-paced, but the way in which they contort their bodies were some of the most chilling images I've seen in a horror movie. We see this from the very first sequence in which a guy hits a deer with his car, and he stops, and he looks at it, and he drives away. But then we stay on the shot of the dead deer on the road, and it gets up, and you hear its bones cracking, and its body twisting in all these unusual ways, and it just sent chills up my spine, and I was like, oh boy, we're in for something else here. And yeah, with the way these zombies move around, we're treated to so many great action scenes. The thing with this is, not only do the passengers on this train have to deal with zombies within each of the train cars, but also deal with other zombies trying to get in from outside. And what we get is a film that manages to feel claustrophobic, yet moving around so much at the same time. And this moves incredibly fast. This movie was 2 hours and I didn't feel that runtime once. I think it was around the hour mark where I thought it was only a half hour in, and I was shocked by how much time actually went by. Each and every scene is incredibly engaging, especially due to the fact that since we're in this fairly confined setting, these characters have to come up with these creative ways in order to move past these zombies and get to safety, since not every car has them. And while these action scenes are very entertaining, the main reason this film is so engaging and so much better than most other zombie movies out there is the characters. Everyone aboard this train who we focus on has such a distinct personality, and I found myself attached to nearly all of them. You have a dad who's going through a divorce and bringing his daughter to see her mom for her birthday. You also have one man who comes across like he's just this big tough guy, but he's actually about to be a father and has a lot more compassion for people than you initially think he does. You have these two elderly sisters, there are members of this sports team, there's a homeless guy who also snuck aboard the train, among many others. And I cared what happened to each and every one of them. Everyone had such a great arc, and there was a lot of character development. Like our main character, Sok Woo, when we first meet him, it's at work, and we learn he's this fund manager, and we see the way in which he interacts with his coworkers, and he seems like he has something of a hard time connecting with his daughter. Sometimes it feels like he's not even trying. So because of that, at first I didn't particularly care for him. But over the course of this movie, as we explore more of the relationship between him and his daughter, as well as getting more of an idea of how he views others, especially as he gets called out by other passengers when they learn about what he does for a living, he turns more into a likable guy, and I found myself really rooting for him. And it didn't feel contrived either, or like it was forcing this pivot in terms of his personality. The film touches upon so many things like relationships and people's point of view on life without it feeling like its message is just shoehorned in. Even in moments where there's downtime, as the passengers are momentarily safe from the zombies, it still feels like so much is going on as we get more of an idea about who these characters are, as they continually worry about the threat of these zombies, which is always hanging over their heads. This film contains a lot of social commentary, and it says a lot about selfishness versus selflessness, especially in terms of class. A lot of characters take issue with Sok-woo at first because they know his line of work has little regard for other people. And we see that with his personality at first, as he focuses more on personal safety over making sure that as many people on this train, in addition to him and his daughter, are safe. And that at first puts him at odds with some of the other passengers, some of whom aren't exactly as fortunate as him. And we see these conflicts come to a head multiple times. And we especially see this with a character who serves more as the antagonist over the zombies themselves, a corporate executive named Yoon-suk. He's extremely selfish, he will always cower when presented with a difficult choice, and he'll always do what he can to look out for himself over others. He'll cut other people off from safety without thinking twice, and he'll manipulate other people to go along with what he says, pitting passengers against one another. He's just a truly terrible person. What's amazing is he didn't feel like just a one-note cartoon-like villain. He felt more dangerous than the actual zombies just because he can talk his way out of situations and use people. And I enjoyed hating this person because he felt so real, as did a lot of these characters. Despite the film being about a zombie outbreak, just about all of these characters felt grounded in reality in some way. Everyone here truly feels like someone you'd come across anywhere you go. And because of that, this film was so emotional at times. The stakes felt so high because I was invested in what happens to each of these characters. There were points where I felt close on the verge of tears. There are a few moments in particular that are just devastating, and it felt more like an emotional character-based drama first, and an action horror zombie movie second. And I was just blown away by the craft that went into mixing the two. More often than not, when a movie is hyped up so much, it usually doesn't live up to that hype. This, though, is one of the rare cases for me where it does live up to everything said about it. It's absolutely chilling, visually stunning, has a lot of action scenes that are executed so well, plus it has so many great characters that I found myself invested in, all of whom added to this film's on-point social commentary. It's one of the best zombie movies of all time, and after it's sitting with me for a bit, I can safely call it a modern classic. Train to Busan gets a 10 out of 10. Stay tuned, I'll also have a review out for the standalone sequel Peninsula on the way, which... well, I'll save my thoughts for that video, but stay tuned for that, and much more, coming soon. So let me know, did you see Train to Busan, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the action? Did you enjoy the social commentary? And what's your favorite zombie movie of all time? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you next time.